Cowboy Bebop is a story where no one is living the life they were meant to live. Every character on the Bebop is running from a past that never finished becoming a future, caught between who they were and who they never really had a chance to become. And the tragedy is that none of them really realize how much weight they're actually carrying until it's too late to put it down. Spike is the clearest example. He talks about drifting through life like he's half awake, but that isn't just style, it's a symptom. He's living in the present because the past locked his future in place. Everything he could have been with Julia, everything he could have grown into after leaving the syndicate, it all froze the moment he walked away. That's why he moves like a man who's already died once. Part of him has. He's not haunted by memories, he's haunted by a life interrupted, a story that never got its final chapter. And psychologists call this identity foreclosure. When your development gets cut short and you spend the rest of your life reacting to a moment instead of growing past it. Spike didn't choose a new life, he just escaped an old one. An escape isn't the same kind of thing as healing. That's why he treats death casually. And that's why nothing really feels real to him unless it's dangerous. Living fully would mean acknowledging how much he's lost and how much he still wants. Faye carries a different version of that same wound. Her past wasn't stolen, it was erased. She wakes up in a future that feels like a joke at her expense, surrounded by people she doesn't know and memories she can't have back. But what hurts most isn't amnesia itself, it's the grief of an unlived life. She's not mourning the past, she's mourning the future it was meant to create. Her entire identity is a ghost she's trying to catch. And the more she learns, the more she realizes there's nothing to return to. All she has now is uncertainty and the fear that there's no version of herself left to reclaim. And then there's Jet, the one who seems the most grounded, but is just as trapped. He didn't lose his past, he lost faith in it. The betrayal, the corruption, the partners who turned on him. They don't just end his career, they ended his belief in the world he was trying to uphold. Jet is the man holding onto principles from a version of himself he can't return to. He's trying to live with honor in a universe that stopped rewarding it. That kind of disillusionment doesn't break you all at once. It breaks you slowly, in ways you learn to carry without noticing the weight. What binds the Bebop crew together isn't just their loneliness. It's the fact that all of them are living in the aftermath of a life they never really fully formed. They aren't choosing the present, they're drifting through it, shaped by the emotional gravity of a past that won't let them go. What makes their stories resonate so deeply is how quietly the show portrays this kind of emotional paralysis. Cowboy Bebop never shouts its themes, it lets them bleed through small gestures. Spike staring out a window instead of answering a question. Faye smoking alone in a room that doesn't feel like hers. Or Jet cooking as if creating routine can anchor a life that keeps drifting out from underneath him. These aren't quirks, they're symptoms of people whose timelines broke, leaving them suspended between movement and meaning. In psychology, there's a concept called liminal living, existing in a threshold between states without fully belonging to either one. That's the Bebop crew. They're not rooted enough to build a future, and they're not free enough from the past to start over. It's a kind of emotional float, where everything feels temporary, even the things that you really care about, especially the things you care about. Spike embodies this perfectly. He treats life like a dream, not because he's detached, but because acknowledging its reality would force him to confront how much he's avoiding. When he says he's watching a dream he can't wake up from, he's not being poetic, he's describing a psychological escape mechanism. Dissociation as self-protection. The syndicate didn't just trap him physically, it froze his emotional development in place. He didn't grow past his trauma, he grew around it. Faye's version of liminality is different. She isn't running from her past, she's chasing it. But every step toward it reminds her that the girl she was before the accident isn't coming back. That's the tragedy of memory loss the show captures so well. It's not the absence of memory that hurts, it's the absence of belonging. Faye is always arriving somewhere and never returning. That kind of rootlessness makes every new connection feel fragile. Like it could disappear the moment she remembers who she used to be. And Jet tries to solve his liminality by clinging to structure. The ship, the routines, the roles he gives everyone. He's not nostalgic. He's trying to rebuild a world where trust made sense. But deep down, he knows the past that betrayed him can't be restored. That's why he tries so hard to keep everyone together. He's not trying to hold on to them. He's trying to hold on to himself. What all of them share is this quiet, painful truth. It's not the past that weighs on them. It's the version of themselves they never got to become. And because of that, every moment on the Bebop feels temporary. Even when it's warm. They're not afraid of losing each other. They're afraid of being seen for who they are underneath the drifting. What makes Cowboy Bebop so haunting is that it never gives these characters the closure they think they're searching for. Instead, it gives them something much more honest. Brief moments of connection that almost pull them into the present, but never quite enough to free them from the gravity of what they lost. That's why the Bebop feels less like a home and more like a waiting room. Everyone comes aboard carrying a past that refuses to stay behind them. And every time they get close to choosing a future, they retreat. Not because they don't want connection, but because connection threatens the identities they've been surviving with. Spike avoids settling into the crew because belonging would mean admitting he still has something left to lose. Faye avoids vulnerability because letting people close might prove there's nothing left of the girl she once was. And Jet avoids letting go because if he stops holding on to his principles, he won't recognize himself anymore. They orbit each other beautifully, but never collide. They care without committing, they heal without staying healed, and they share a ship, but not a life. Philosophers call this existential limbo, when a person is so anchored to the question of who they were supposed to become that they never fully step into who they are. Cowboy Bebop doesn't portray this as failure. It portrays this as the human condition. Most people don't get clean resolutions. Most people don't get to finish their stories. And most people are improvising around an unlived past, hoping momentum will eventually feel like meaning. And that's why the final episodes hit so hard. Spike's choice isn't about revenge. It's about confronting the one part of his story he never resolved. Not to fix it, but to stop running from the ghost it left behind. When he walks away from the Bebop, it isn't because he doesn't care. It's because caring woke something up in him he's never really been able to face. The desire to live fully, even if it's only for one more day. The Bebop crew doesn't fail to become a family because they don't love each other. They fail because each of them is living in the shadow of a life that never happened. A version of themselves that froze in time while the world moved on. And they don't know how to build a future without first burying the past. Something none of them can quite bring themselves to do. Cowboy Bebop isn't a story about broken people. It's a story about people who never got the chance to finish becoming a whole. And maybe that's why it stays with us so long after the final frame. Because somewhere, each of us is still carrying a version of the life we didn't get to live, and trying in our own drifting way to make peace with the person we became instead.